So I wanted to tell you a bit of a story here. So you can see my very nice beard. I'm trying to grow it, and the story is because we've got this inquiry from South Africa. Somebody saying that they want to have the medical certifications and whatnot. The story goes. I was in South Africa. What was it, 6 weeks ago? Or not even longer now. I think it's in the region of 7. Well, I was in South Africa because of the promotion that we've done to these beauty devices and so on, and the fact that now beauty practitioners, aesthetic practitioners, as we call them, beauty therapists, are using these devices for what doctors call non-surgical blepharoplasty and so on. We call it eyelid tightening. And given the fact that the doctors in South Africa have been sold these type of devices as surgical units for loads of money, obviously there's been a bit of upset, and we've got people calling our distributor. By the way, somebody's asked us who's our distributor in South Africa. Is Premier Beauty. And very nice people. This is one of the reasons why I love South Africa. I also love South Africa because of the very nice, friendly, accommodating and generous people of South Africa. And but basically, we've been. It was sort of a threat that that Premier Beauty received, saying that if they sold these devices, then they would have been taken off the market by the health authority and so on, because they're things that only doctors can do. And obviously, being the subject, being the on the receiving end of threats in 2014, and big injustice, which we're not actually talking about, which actually made me, as the responsible person of Aret Unlimited, made me really work hard in understanding the law, so not to be abused again by certain individuals. Again, I'm not going to go into detail. What I've done is I made sure that all the avenues were covered in case of several challenges. And we've spent a great deal of time and also money into making sure of that. So, in essence, in South Africa, if a device has got a valid CE mark, then it can be sold, it can be used by anyone. And any device in the UK and Europe that is not of medical purpose is not a medical device. And the beauty tech and many other devices out there are non-medical because their remit is only aesthetic. So this is one of the reasons why nobody's actually bothered anyone in South Africa, and they actually stopped bothering us in the UK as well. We've got many stories about the UK, but we're not going to go there. So basically, this message is to reassure anyone in South Africa that if they have the beauty tech, there's a valid device that you can use for aesthetic purposes, then there's not going to be any problem. It's not going to be taken off the market because the CE mark is perfectly valid. It's been double, triple checked, if not quadruple checked by also our competitors who've now started losing sales, and some of them have just gone out of the market altogether. These devices do not need medical certifications as long as they're not for medical purpose, which we make sure they are not. So, should you have any questions on the matter, please let us know. But I remember really well making a video while I was there. You can actually, if you type plasma devices for aesthetic purposes on YouTube, you may find it. I'm just gonna go there and I'm not gonna play it all, but it's there.
Thank you very much for.
Is there, and I think I stopped the the sound in there, so this is why I can actually listen to it. But actually basically I explain in this video that we had this sort of threat, and that you can watch it and so on. But now we're talking about the 6th of July. We're in August, end of August. Nothing has happened, and guess what? Nothing is going to happen, because as I mentioned, South Africa has got a trade deal with the European Union, and any device that's got can be sold in Europe. It can be sold in South Africa. So hopefully that explains the situation.